Alright YouTube, in this video we're going to talk about when to use a baritone drone versus when to use two drones on a set of Scottish small pipes. And of course, we got the pipes right here. Let me just go ahead and check the tuning on them before we get started. Alright, so we're going to talk about when to use a Scottish small pipes baritone drone when appropriate and what key you should play it in. And even though my small pipes don't have an actual baritone drone, that's fine because we're going to use the bass drone and convert the middle tenor drone into a baritone drone. Because that's what I've been doing whenever I want to demonstrate the baritone. Because the middle tenor drone actually sounds like a baritone drone, and I think that's pretty cool. Now, first off, when using the bass drone and the tenor drone, just using that, you can play a tune. Say you're going from a tune that's in D major to A. Like, if you're playing Great Highland bagpipe tunes, it also sounds pretty good in just A major tunes. But what also can actually sound really good is when you use the baritone drone, and that provides an extra harmonic. It provides a 5-to-4 relationship with the bass and tenor drones, and the bass being tuned to low A, the octave below the chanter. Hold on, let me fix that. It's supposed to be an A, not a... Okay, I'm going to have to fix my bass read because it accidentally, let me just check the calibration on it. I tried to blow through it just because I wanted to show y'all and demonstrate the low A sound on the chanter. Whenever you're tuning small pipes, you want to make sure you're playing the low A below the chanter, because that's the foundation of the bass and tenor. Let me check the calibration. Yeah, this read is somehow misaligned, so I'm going to have to recalibrate it. Somehow got out of alignment, so now I have to recalibrate the read in a way. Okay, we're almost there. It's not how I wanted to originally start the video. Okay, now we're getting there. Had to fix the calibration a bit. There we go, now we're getting low A. Need to really fix this calibration. There we go. Now we got low A back on the chanter. Alright, now we can actually get on. I just need to test it because I like to have my bass drone with a little more volume on it. Yep, there we go. Alright, I'm going to go ahead and turn this bass, this tenor off. I prefer not to have two tenors on my small pipes. Even though that's what they came with, I prefer to leave one of them off. So now, when to use a bass drone and when to use the baritone. When to only use two drones versus when to use three drones. For instance, the bass and tenor drones. Let's say you're playing Skyboat. I don't know if I can hear this, but there's the low A. Y'all can hear that the bass drone is an octave lower than the tenor and the chanter. And that's what provides the foundation of bagpipes, specifically Scottish. And let's say you go to Rowan Tree. So that's one of the reasons you can switch. You can use two drones. Now let's say you want to use the baritone drone. Let's say you want to use your baritone. I'm going to go ahead and convert my small pipe tenor drone. I'm going to go and stand that way y'all can see this more clearly. I'm going to remove my middle tenor reed, and we're basically converting the middle tenor drone into the baritone. Making sure that sits in there. We're going to put this reed into the bass stock because it's shut off, and we're going to put it in there. Now I'm going to put my modified tenor/baritone drone in there, and now we're going to put the non-working bass drone in there, even though I decided to put the middle reed in there. Alright, here we go. What would you use the baritone and tenor for? Or if you have a bass, baritone, and tenor going at the same time? Well, let's say you want to play songs that are in the key of A and keep them that way. Hector the Hero being one of them. And let's also take, for instance, a lot of some Scottish bagpipe tunes actually follow a pentatonic scale. So if you want to play in the A pentatonic or the, not really the D major pentatonic, but the, I guess, G pentatonic, you could do that because it has a center focused around A. Now, actually, my tenor drone, my middle tenor drone, actually does work as a baritone drone because it's not too loud. It's not blaring like the other tenor, like if I have the middle tenor reed, and it actually perfectly balances out with the outside tenor drone, which I think is awesome. I would like to maybe one day get another bass reed to actually put in the middle tenor. That way I can actually put this existing bass reed back into my tenor stock. But this is actually what it tunes to. Now, what if I want to play in the key of D, but use the middle tenor drone for the baritone sound, and then we just play around with, okay, now we're, okay, I can't really go too far out, but I don't want to push the okay, let's give it a try. Let's see. Okay, so we could possibly play in the key of D with just a baritone. It'd be like playing a, if you've ever seen people play like combination small pipes. If you ever seen like people play combination small pipes, there's a thing that, you know, allows you to have a, you know, you have 4 drones on a set of combination small pipes, and you basically play them like this. It doesn't really work that well because that is quite nearly the end of the bass drone. So I'm going to rehamp this drone back together, and I'm going to put the drone, I'm actually going to put this middle tenor back together. So can't really do that on a set of Scotch small pipes. I mean, it can work, but if you really want to play in the key of D, you really need to have a better system for it, because playing in the key of D on a set of Scottish small pipes like this doesn't really work that well. It can, but it's not favorable to do it in this way. In general, it's just not as favorable to play within that key just because of the way these drones are set up. There we go. Let me take this out. Gotta wrap this one. This middle tenor decided to come out, and I'm going to go ahead and retune my baritone, which is converted from a bass reed. I'm just going to go ahead and put the screw back in. Go ahead and turn my tuning screw back and put it back in the key of E, or I say the note E. Okay, so that sounds pretty good in the key of A. Now, in the key of D, you might not want to do that on a set of A small pipes. Key of G on a set of D small pipes actually is fine because you don't have to worry about the baritone. You can leave the baritone in A because the Irish union pipes or uilleann pipes actually play in the key of D, and they have that really low bass drone, and so they can play pretty good in the key of G. So you can successfully do that with a set of D small pipes. Not necessarily with A small pipes unless you retune your baritone drone. Now the bass is back in its bass stock, the bass reed is back in the bass drone. Which I actually like having the bass drone sound. And there we go. There is how to effectively use your baritone drone, or if you have a tenor drone, second tenor drone, which is your middle tenor on your small pipes, how to turn that into a baritone drone, and plus, what are the effective ways to use the baritone with the bass and tenor, and when not to use the baritone with the bass and tenor, and just use the bass and tenor on your small pipes. There we go. Thanks for watching, and more to come later.